Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel, Life with Tam and Kush. This is where I kind of share a little bit more of my personal life and some personal decisions and my family and all the warm, fuzzy things. But today's video is a solo video, as you can see, and this is going to be all about the different options I decided to go for with the birth of Rion. As you guys probably remember from my other videos, the birth of Alia, my firstborn, was so chaotic and so crazy that I decided to rewrite my entire story and take control over every aspect I possibly could during Rion's birth, my secondborn. That would include ultimately the decisions that I made for the actual birth itself and things to follow. So in this video, I will be diving into three main topics. Number one, cord blood banking. Number two, delayed cord clamping. And number three, placenta encapsulation. You guys, when I first mentioned those three things on my Instagram stories, I realized how little the general public knew about those terms and what they meant and the benefits of those things if you decide to go for it. So I have been asked multiple times in my DMs, especially since talking about those things, to dive deeper in a YouTube video, which is why I'm creating this video. So the first topic we're going to go into is cord blood banking. Now, since I recently talked about cord blood banking on my Instagram stories, I'm going to repost those stories now just so you have a very nice overall knowledge as to what it is, why I did it, and who I did it with. And then I'm going to pop back in here right now to answer some of your follow-up questions from when you guys first saw those stories. So this will be really beneficial for those of you who are soon going to be giving birth. I know this is like the COVID baby boom time right now. So that's why I wanted to put out this content as soon as possible because I don't want it to be too late for you guys. So for those of you who are expecting or planning to in the future, this information is going to be very, very beneficial. So I am going to go ahead and come back in and answer some of your popular questions after these stories. So here we go. Hey guys, I just wanted to spend a few minutes to talk to you guys about cord blood banking. I know last time I talked about it, my inbox was flooded with your questions. So the company that I chose to save my baby's cord blood is called Cord Blood Registry. They came highly recommended. They actually are America's largest cord blood bank. So they're super reputable and they operate from a very safe and secure facility. So I completely trust them to handle and to store my baby's cord blood for life. So why choose to store your baby's cord blood? Basically, the blood and the tissue that's inside the umbilical cord is super rich in stem cells, which are being studied right now and can already help treat over 80 conditions today. Stuff like certain cancers and sickle cell anemia, plus there's research going on even more potential uses, including research on how it can possibly help treat certain effects of COVID, you guys. Like, ding, this gives my husband and I so much more peace of mind, especially knowing that stem cell research is constantly moving forward. And even though there may not be cures for certain conditions and diseases right now, there might be later. And having this cord blood stored for life may give us an opportunity to fight or treat those diseases in the future. As some of you may know from my previous birth experience with Alia, I had chosen to bank her cord blood as well. And I was actually very excited about it because that's when I had first heard about it. And I was just like, this is the best thing in the world. I have to do this for my baby. But unfortunately, I ended up pushing for 4 hours and so many different doctors and nurses were in and out. Different people were trying to deliver my baby in that time period and there was a lack of communication. So my hospital ended up throwing out my umbilical cord and placenta without my knowledge. And when I found out, I was completely devastated. So I spoke with my OBGYN and told her the whole story, background of my terrible experience from the hospital that screwed up. And she reassured me that everything would be just fine. And it was. The day came and everything was collected safely. I made sure that the staff knew that the kit was right there and that everything needed to be collected right after birth. The hospital typically knows exactly what to do to safely collect your cord blood and cord tissue. They know how to collect placenta, whatever it is that you need, they know how to do it. Plus, this is what the kit looks like. The kit comes with very, very clear instructions. So once the items are collected, the hospital gives you back the completed kit. And all you have to do is call the number right on the kit itself, which is the CBR courier, to come and collect this kit from you. And then they're the ones that ship it to the lab facility. So you don't have to worry about a thing. They handle everything so you can focus on being a mom. We ended up banking both Rion's cord blood and cord tissue for lifetime because each one has their own benefits. I was so sad when we lost Alia's, but what's really cool is that siblings have a 75% chance of at least being a partial match. And as research is progressing, we definitely want to have this amazing resource for our family if we need these cells in the future. Go directly to their website for more information, and all of their pricing and packages is all listed there as well very clearly. I hope this clarified some of the reasons why I think this is such a good idea and why I decided to go for it again. Definitely look into it if you can. And of course, you can always contact CBR directly for more information if you wish to get more clarification on anything. So here are some of the follow-up questions I got after I released those stories onto my Instagram page. Basically, one of the items that you guys wanted me to elaborate on was about the process of actually using your cord blood once you've already banked it, and if you come to the point where you'd actually need it for medical purposes. So ultimately, the use of that will be up to your treating physician, okay? They are going to be factoring in many things, including the diagnosis, the dose, and whatever available treatments there are already that you can be kind of going through and seeing what your options are. The CBR team will help you step by step throughout this process. They have an expert team that's available to answer your questions and to make sure that everything goes super smoothly in preparation of your samples to be shipped out to you. The laboratory team then expertly handles your cryogenically frozen stem cells, your blood samples, and carefully ships it to the treating hospital that you'll be using it at, while keeping it at the exact temperature it needs to be during that journey to you. Another follow-up question I got was, does CBR charge you anything extra to release your stem cell samples back to you? And no, CBR does not charge any sample release fees for shipments within the US. But as with any medical treatment in a hospital setting, the hospital and the physician team might have their own expenses. So you'll want to discuss that with your healthcare provider team. Lastly, many of you asked me to elaborate on what kind of diseases that stem cells can help treat. There are currently over 80 conditions, you guys, that cord blood is approved to treat as a part of a stem cell transplant. This includes several blood disorders, immune disorders, and cancers like leukemia and MDS, which my dad had. And he actually had to fight the hard way without a match the first time around. So imagine if this was available to him back then, if we were able to have his own stem cells, we could have used them for a 100% match to replace his damaged blood cells with healthy cells, his own healthy cells. So now you know why personally I was so much more inclined to do this for my family. I am so thankful that I was able to connect with CBR, with their team, to be the ones that would store my son's cord blood and cord tissue. And we got to talking, and we've decided to partner up to offer one of you out there a very, very special opportunity to bank your child's cord blood and cord tissue on us. So yes, this is going to be a huge giveaway. Just look for the CBR kit giveaway post on Life with Rion's page. This is the name right here. And you can go ahead and follow the rules. It'll be very simple, but I definitely wanted to do something to give back to one of you expecting mamas out there. So definitely check that out. And for those of you who are watching this video later on, I do have a special discount code that you can use on their site. So you can enter this right here when you go ahead and choose your package plan. So now let's talk about delayed cord clamping. This is in reference to how much time has passed between a baby's birth and when the umbilical cord is clamped shut, okay, for like in preparation to cut it basically. Now, the whole reasoning behind delayed cord clamping, which could be anywhere from like 25 seconds to 5 minutes, is to try to give as much blood as possible from the placenta to the baby, in hopes to increase the baby's blood volume and iron levels. And there's a whole bunch of other benefits as well. But it may not be for everyone. So it's really important that you speak with your physician to make sure that, you know, whatever the decision is going to be beneficial for your baby. Now, the WHO, the World Health Organization, does recommend delayed cord clamping for all births, anywhere from like 1 to 3 minutes or a little bit more than that. But a lot of midwives out there suggest that you wait to clamp the cord up until the umbilical cord stops pumping, which is, it can take several minutes. So it's really up to you, your research, your comfort level, and your physician or midwife or both, to figure out what would be best for your baby. But for those of you who are also thinking about doing the cord blood banking like I did, you can absolutely do both. Just discuss this with your OB to see how long you think could work in order for you to give your baby a little bit of that blood volume from the placenta, plus have enough of a sample collected for storage. Of course, when the time comes, that's ultimately when the deciding factor will happen. Everybody has their own individual situation, and sometimes, like for example, if a baby has respiratory distress, then they will not be prolonging that cord clamping. They will clamp that cord and get that baby to safety right away. So there are certain situations where it may not be possible, but it's always good to have a birth plan and to discuss this with your OB, to make sure that you both are on the same page. Now, for those of you who would like to do both delayed cord clamping and banking the cord blood, there have been several studies that have shown that if you do delay the clamping by about 30 to 60 seconds, there should still be more than enough blood to bank, from the remainder of what's left in the umbilical cord. There's also the cord tissue. So there's cord blood and cord tissue that we talked about earlier. And so if you have any type of doubts or questions about, oh my gosh, do I have enough blood for banking purposes? Do I have enough good cells in there to be able to use in the future? You can also bank your cord tissue, which delayed cord clamping has no effect on the cord tissue itself. So that's another option as well. So I actually did a third thing as well during the birth, and that was to save the placenta. Never did I think I would want to do that, but there's something called placenta encapsulation, which totally blew my mind, and I was so intrigued, and I definitely wanted to do it this time. So I will explain a little bit more in these following stories that I will be reposting from my Instagram. Oh my gosh, let me tell you, I absolutely loved it, and I will come back after you see these stories right now to talk to you guys about what I thought about it.
This is seriously the coolest package ever. I never in a million years thought that I would do something like this, but like I said to you guys before, this entire experience from pre-pregnancy to the actual pregnancy to how I chose to do my labor and delivery and everything after, it's very different from the first time. And I chose to do things very differently because I wanted to rewrite my story and to make things more positive in my mind and to get over a lot of trauma from the past. And so I decided to do a lot of new things this time. And one of those things is placenta encapsulation. And that basically is process that's done in a super, sterile way. I'll show you the pamphlet and it has all the information. But basically, the reason why anyone would even want to consider doing something like this and kind of consuming their own placenta, which sounds really barbaric, but a lot of mammals do this naturally. Basically, these are some of the benefits if you guys want a screenshot. But I was really, really keen on doing something like this, and I was so thankful that Mommy Made reached out to me and truly wanting to be a part of my journey this time. So I gave it a chance, and now I'm going to be trying it out, and I'll let you guys know how it works for me. And what's super sweet is, aside from the placenta print, which I was not expecting, she also saved my baby boy's umbilical cord, created it into a heart, and dipped it in gold chrome as a keepsake. And it's just so sweet, because this is one of the first things that we share as a child and a mother. This is what is the baby's lifeline, and it's just so special the way she preserved it. I've never seen it like this. I've always seen it dried up, and I was always like, oh, whatever, I don't know about that, but this is so pretty.
So I am now 3.5 months postpartum. As soon as I got the placenta pills, I took them right away, the exact dosage that they recommend. So they sent me, as you saw, like a whole gift package of a bunch of stuff and cards that tell you exactly what is recommended based on how many days postpartum you are, and all the benefits and stuff, which I'll go through with you from this pamphlet. So this is how much I have left. I wanted to save a bunch of these. I took so many, you guys, but I felt really great, and I feel like this probably aided in that. I had an amazing postpartum experience, and if you've seen my other postpartum videos on YouTube, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But my entire postpartum was so positive and amazing, and I had a great mindset, and this was kind of like my magic pills. Every time I felt a little crabby, I would take a little extra of these. And even my husband noticed a difference in my attitude. So I have saved some for my bad days. Now that I am past 3 months postpartum, I'm starting to feel drops in my hormone levels. All of a sudden, I'm losing hair and I'm breaking out. And there is some changes that are happening within my body right now and in my head. And so I knew it was coming. I knew it was going to happen. So that's why I wanted to save some for times like this. So that is why I did not want to finish all of them right at the beginning. As far as how it tastes, a lot of people consume their placenta in smoothies and things like that. And I just did not want to be grossed out. I didn't know if I was going to be nauseous after birth or whatever. So that's why I kind of opted for the pill form. And they're actually they're different colors because the coating of the pills are different flavors, you guys. So the pink ones are bubblegum flavor, the green ones are lime, and the orange ones are orange. And they literally taste exactly how they're supposed to. They're actually really, really good. So if you go to the Mommy Made Encapsulation website, which I'll link below in the description for you guys, there's a ton of information on how the process works and what the benefits are. And I know I talked a lot about that in the stories that I just showed you, but I wanted to go over the benefits a little clearer for you guys. Basically, it is said to increase energy, increase milk supply, help prevent baby blues and postpartum depression, replenish your iron levels, help reduce postnatal bleeding, reduce stress, and mamas have also reported that it helped them to return to pre-pregnancy size faster, and it helps with faster healing and recovery from pregnancy. I was sold, I am in, I'm a believer, and all of those things happened for me. Oh my goodness, you guys. Like I said, my postpartum experience this time was just so freaking good and positive, and I definitely feel like this had a lot to do with it. So if you guys are interested in reading up more about it, definitely check it out. Again, I went with Mommy Made Encapsulation here in Southern California. They do ship. It says so on their website, so check it out. But I'm sure there's a lot of, other people that do the same in your areas too. So basically how it worked was actually way easier than what I thought. Basically, I was told by Mommy Made Encapsulation that it would also be a very, very easy process. All the hospital needed to do was to save the placenta and store it. And then since I'm local in Southern California, which is where Mommy Made Encapsulation is located, the owner actually drove up and collected my placenta from the hospital. And because of COVID, I wasn't able to physically see her. She wasn't able to come up. So I sent Khashal down with everything to give it to her. And then she safely brought it home and did everything she needed to do to encapsulate the placenta in a very safe and sterile manner. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of questions about this particular thing, about the placenta encapsulation, if it's going to be something that your religion allows. I don't want to get too deep into religion and stuff like that on this channel, even though I do love to share my views and things on IG stories and things like that. But I will write a little write-up of what I think below in the description here. So if you want to just read below, you'll get an idea of my thought process about consuming your placenta based on and I'm Muslim, so this will be based on Islamic scholars and what they've said is permissible in Islam. So there you have it, you guys. 3 major topics. We covered cord blood banking, delayed cord clamping, and placenta encapsulation all in one video. And I'm so glad I finally got through doing this because I know so many of you are due any second, and I want to make sure that you have your questions answered. Also, it is very important for you to do your own research. Everyone has their own situations going. Everyone has their own underlying health conditions and whatnot. So definitely speak with your medical team to make sure that whatever you do decide is the best for you and your baby, and make sure you're well informed if things go according to plan, and also with what would happen if things don't go according to plan. Make sure you have kind of both mindsets ready to go so that there's no major surprises when the time comes. Wishing you guys all the best, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.